Hey folks, no, this isn't really happening. John Cowan here with you with Ultra Realty with another Monday morning real estate message. So I'm getting a lot of questions from folks out there regarding appraisals. And so I thought it would really be beneficial to talk about that this week. And so who's really involved with a real estate appraisal? Almost everybody. If you have purchased and financed, if you are selling, or if you're refinancing your existing mortgage, you're going to know very well what an appraisal is by the time you're done. And yes, it is invasive. And it is one of what I call the big three steps in a real estate transaction. Number one, a willing buyer and willing seller coming to an agreement with a contract. Number two, an inspection and additional negotiations for repairs if necessary. Number three, the final piece to the puzzle, or it never goes together, is the appraisal. So, do you know how to prepare for the appraisal process? You need to know on any of those transactions what to do. So, let's get started. You need to know first off what an appraisal is. I am a licensed realtor in the state of Texas. I can give you an opinion on market value, but we have to be careful with the word value. So technically, a licensed appraiser is the only party who can give you that professional valuation, okay? I can give you market information, which they use, and we might be pretty close, but you've got to have the licensed appraiser do that valuation. It's an unbiased opinion from him on the home's fair market value. Why is that so critical? Is it critical for you? Is it critical for, the owner of a property, the buyer? It's critical for the bank, whoever's involved in funding money for a borrower. They want to be protected. They want to know that it's the appropriate valuation, so they're not giving too much money to a borrower, okay? So if you look at some of the things that are used to determine this valuation, okay, they're going to talk about location, they're going to talk about the condition, they're going to talk about quality, and they're going to talk about amenities, okay, our features. And so we can break those down and spend a lot of time, which we really don't have on this short video, but they also, of course, use the market sales data, public sales records, so your central appraisal district, they look at that valuation by the county. And then, of course, also they will measure and do an accurate square footage determination and present that information as well. It is a visual inspection of the exterior and interior of the home. It is not the same as an inspection from a licensed general inspector. Now, does the appraiser climb on the roof like an inspector? No. He may use binoculars, though, to look at it for a condition just like an inspector would. Will he crawl in the attic and look at issues up there? Yes, they have. Do they always? Not necessarily. So they are looking at what I call the big five from a critical standpoint. So, the roof, the foundation, they're looking for all those indications of deficiencies, okay? Much like an inspector, but for a different reason. So if we break it down further, can you prepare? Can you really do something that would be beneficial to put yourself in a better position when an appraiser walks in the door? Folks, I got to tell you, they're human, just like any of us. When do they first start thinking about the valuation of a property? They're going to pull up information before they ever come out. They're going to have an idea of what's going on, but they can't tell till they get in front of the house. Does it start then? Absolutely. Right on the drive up. They're going to look at the house from that curb appeal, if you will, and start forming an opinion. When they walk in that front door, where does it start? they start looking at the slightest little details. If you had dust bunnies in your foyer, okay, and not a terrible sin, but an appraiser starts looking at little things. He sees a slight structural crack, in the entryway. He starts seeing little things like that that make him worry about what he's not seeing normally. I say, you let me see this, then what am I not seeing? See, it makes them dig deeper and they look further. So from a summation, I like to, present it this way. First off, what should you expect? I've got to tell you what's going on in the market right now. If you're trying to refinance, or if you're purchasing a home or selling a home, we are all having difficulties because of the pent-up demand that we've had since COVID-19 delays. The appraisers are very busy. What we used to allow a week, week and a half, we now are hearing 2 weeks minimum, and we are seeing appraisals taking longer than 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks in some cases. Does that delay the whole real estate transaction? Yes, it does. Nothing happens until that appraisal is complete. The demand, in my opinion, cannot keep up with the demand. It can't continue driving the value is what I'm trying to say. So we have supply and demand issues, and so we have buyers who are willing to pay more, maybe in some circumstances, than what the seller's asking. Can we expect an appraiser to think the same way? No, we cannot. So I think we're going to start seeing some devaluation. We're going to start seeing the effect of, I came up with the term COVID-itis, and everyone laughs when I say it. Folks, we are now seeing results in the market for sales that were showing some concerns or panic or distressed circumstances where people were needing to sell. An appraiser is going to look at the immediate 90-day market information on sales for comparable homes. We are now starting to see the effect of some of those quick sales where people were needing to put the house on the market, and maybe they sold lower than they should have. But when he looks at that, he's going to take that into consideration. There's a dirty little secret also that I'll share with you here. Can an appraisal opinion be different on a refinance property as opposed to a new purchase property? Yes, it can. Am I going to share why? No, I'm not. You're going to have to call me for that. But there is a difference how they look at the valuation of those homes. If you're refinancing your own home, you're going to probably have a pretty high value of what you think your home is worth. May not agree, with his thoughts. A purchase contract is totally different. A buyer and seller have come to an agreement, and so they look at it a little differently. But there's a lot of subjective and objective points that go into the appraisal. So can you be better prepared for the appraisal? Yes. How? Call me. You need my professional knowledge and experience in working with the appraisals to help guide you through that process. Obviously, if we're representing you as a buyer, I'm out there doing what we need to do. As a seller, I'm doing what we need to do for the appraisal, and that means a lot. If you're refinancing, I don't mind, call me. I'll give you some thoughts, okay? So how do you reach me? You can contact me through my website. You can pick up the phone and call me. My email. I'm John Cowan with Ultra Realty of Texas. I'm here for you to help you through every aspect of the real estate transaction. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.